Hi, guys, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for joining today. If this is your first time on this channel, you're welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for dropping by. Again, do not forget to subscribe. Okay, so today we are basically talking about some changes that the Canadian government has made to study. This video is about changes that have just been announced affecting international students basically. So one of the announcements that was made, one of the changes is that there's going to be a 2-year temporary cap on international students at the undergraduate level. So what the government is trying to do here is there's going to be like a temporary cap on the amount of international students that are going to be accepted into the country at the undergraduate level. And this is going to be in place for a period of 2 years. So technically between 2024 and 2026. This change basically is going to result into the approval of about 364,000 study permit. And that actually signifies, I believe, a decrease of about 35% as against what was approved last year, 2023. And the reason why the government is actually looking to do this is because of the kind of pressure on housing and amenities basically in Canada. Like the government was saying, just between 2022 and 2023, there's been an increase of about 1.25 million in population in Canada. So population of Canada has increased by 1.25 million, and this has resulted into more pressure in terms of housing, and this has affected the cost of rent, and because it's I think the issue is that the houses available can't accommodate the number of people coming in, and this is also affecting the students, right? So this is one measure that the Canadian government is looking to put in place: a 2-year temporary cap on the amount of study permits they are going to approve for students at the undergraduate level. Now, another change that the government has actually introduced is that international students will be required to submit a letter of attestation, provincial attestation, alongside their study permit application. Well, honestly, I don't really know what to say about this, because again, this never used to be used to be in place for people who were looking to submit their study permit application. But this is one other measure that the government is now looking to put in place. So what that means is that you're going to be getting, I believe it's going to be some sort of supporting document or letter from the province where your school is situated, where you're going to be studying, and you're going to put that alongside your study permit application. I want to believe this is one other thing they are going to be looking out for in order to approve your study permit. So if you're looking to apply to any school here in Canada, just make sure that this document is also one of the things that you're going to get, or you're looking to get a letter of attestation from the province where your school is situated. It is now one of the requirements that the government has put in place, and you're also going to be needing that in order for your study permit application to be approved. Yeah, and then now another change, one other change that the government has actually introduced, and I think this is actually a very positive one. This is something that we have actually been looking forward to, and it will serve a whole lot of people, because we see quite a lot of international students turning into, coming into Canada, and some of them at the end of the day they have to go back home, maybe because they were not able to transition smoothly from being a student to becoming a permanent resident, likely because they were not able to get enough working experience to support their permanent resident application. And the government has now introduced this, where master's graduates, that's if you've studied at the master's level, or graduates of short graduate programs, you'll be able to apply for a 3-year work permit. Yay! So 3 year work permit, and what that means is that once you have finished your school, so even if it's a short term graduate program that you have done, you'll be able to apply for a 3 year work permit. Um, yeah, a 3 year work permit, which would allow you to be able to work in the country for 3 years. Now, the reason why they are doing that is so that you can get or gain more experience. Prior to this time, with work permit, it was based off of how many years, was the program that you did. So if your master's program or your short-term program was like 1 year, then you would apply for a postgraduate work permit and it would be for 1 year. If your program was 2 years, then they would also give you 2 years. But right now, with this change in place, regardless of how long your program, is for, or how long your program was for, you would be able to apply for a 3 year work permit. And with that, gaining 3 years, you add that to your permanent resident application. It also, makes your application stronger and makes that transition from being a student to a permanent resident, makes it smoother, right? So that is one other change that the government has actually introduced. And the last but not the least of the changes that was recently made by the government is that, and this one is not very exciting, but I'm sure the government they must have had their reason as to why they are introducing this. So usually we know that when you apply to come and study in Canada as a student and you have a family, you are coming to study here, your spouse will be able to apply for what we call an open work permit. So that while you are schooling, then your spouse can be working for the duration of while you are here. The work permit is always tied to the student. So if they are here for 2 years, then they would also give you like a 2 year work permit, which can be valid, which can be eligible for extension once the student completes their education and also applies for a postgraduate work permit, right? That has usually been the process. But with this change in place, the government is saying that open work permits would only be available to spouses of people who are coming in to study at the master's and PhD levels. So what that means is that any other program that is not within the class of being a master's program or a PhD program, even though the person coming to school can still come here to do their program, say for example, you're applying for a diploma, your spouse would not be eligible to get an open work permit. This would only be applicable for people who are coming in to study at the master's level, or who are coming in for a PhD program. And so this change is actually is a very I'm not really sure how to feel about this change, because over the course of the years, we've seen a lot of people coming for more diploma or different kinds of programs, and they're coming with their spouse, because they come with their spouse and their spouse are able to work. Whilst the other person is going to school, the other person is also working and they're able to support one another. But with this change in place, what that means is that if you are not coming here to study, to be, to have an MSc, MA, whatever, master's, or to become a doctor, the doctoral programs, PhD, then your spouse would not be eligible for an open work permit. Yeah, so these are the changes that the government has announced as at the beginning of the year. And well, we are hoping that they will review, some of these changes maybe in the nearest future. But right now, these are the changes that the government has made, and yeah, we thought we'd share this with you guys, especially for people who are looking to put in for study permits, people that are looking to come into the country through the student route, and they are looking to come with their families. Or it may be a time to reflect, especially if you're coming through a program that is not a master's program or a PhD program, and then you are looking at, okay, coming here, then your spouse may not get a work permit. So you might be looking to reconsider. Maybe you want to reapply for a master's program or a PhD program, just so that you get that opportunity for your spouse to get the work permit. Because again, like we always say, it's not the student route is not a route that is very easy. Like I always like to tell people, it's not very easy because you are coming here as a student, you have a lot of bills, you have your school fees, you have your stuff to pay. If you are coming here as one person, except you already have all your school fees, then you probably would need like an helping hand, which usually comes in form of you're coming here with your spouse. They have the opportunity to work, and while they are working, then you can both support one another to get the fees. But if you are coming here alone, and you know that you don't have this school fees, you need to reconsider. If you are coming here alone and you have all your like a big boy, your big girl, your fees, and then you have people that are going to sponsor you, your fees already sure, then yeah, why not? You can still come in and do your diploma program. We're just putting out this information here so that you can know what the changes are in the country, and then juxtapose it with your plans, your goals. Does it align? Does it fit? Do I at this point need to start considering another country rather than Canada because this changes does not fit my goals right now? Or is this something I need to just weigh the options? These are the reasons why we're bringing out this here for you guys, so that you know, and we don't a lot of people, because I know of a whole lot of people who even last year tried to apply for the work for the study permit. They're coming here as students and they were denied. And it's not really a nice thing after you have put in all of those efforts, the mental hassle to write all your applications, your supporting documents, only for you now to be denied. It's good to get updated about the changes that the government are they are putting in place. So you have, for example, you need to provide like the provincial attestation letter as an international student to support your study permit application if you're coming here. And yeah, so pretty much this is what we thought to share with you guys. And it's also important to mention that these changes now do not affect people that are already here. So if you're a student and you're already here, these changes does not affect you, but this is just for people that are now looking to apply to come into Canada starting from this year. So yeah, basically that's what we thought we'd share with you guys today. We've come to the end of the video. Do not forget to do what, like, share, and subscribe. If you have anything that you want us to talk about, please do drop it in the comment section, and then we'll be happy to accommodate that for you. Thank you very much for dropping by, and we'll see you again in our next video. Bye for now.